Today I'm going to talk about a game that I don't think is going to win the Kennerspiel Des Jahres. Now, Spiel des Jahres is probably the most prestigious game award that is announced every year. And the nominees for this year's are The Crew, The Quest for Planet 9, Cartographers, A Role Player's Tale, and The King's Dilemma. Now, I already did my review on Cartographers, which I do believe will be the winner of this year's. But before I get into my review of The Crew, I wanted to say that we did a poll. Who do you think is going to win? Which game? And the results are in. We had 180 people vote. 20% thought The King's Dilemma was going to take the victory. 33% thought The Crew would be the winner. And 47% of you agreed with me that Cartographers is going to win this year. But this video isn't a review on Cartographers. I've already done that review. I wanted to bring this up though, because we will be giving away a copy of one of these three games. If you leave a comment below in this video, we'll pick someone randomly and you'll get your choice to pick one of the three nominated. Now, I want to get into The Crew and what I think about it and why I think it's not going to be the winner. So first of all, this game is lovely. It's a great game. There's a reason why it's nominated. It's got trick taking, it's got co-op, and it's got a campaign. The gameplay itself reminds me of The Mind or Hanabi, where there's some hidden information from you or the other players. There's limited communication, and you're all working together to try and accomplish a goal. Now, the fact that it's all based around trick taking allows for this to be really approachable. I was playing with my group of friends who aren't particularly heavy gamers within just a few minutes. It's very easy to teach, and that makes it approachable. It makes it appealing. And the fact that there's 50 scenarios to this kind of mini campaign makes it replayable. And it delivers on all those things. That's kind of the appeal that it has. It's quick to learn, it's fun to play, and there's some unique gameplay mechanics in how you communicate and the way in which you try to accomplish goals that is unique for each scenario. And the fact that there are scenarios, so as a team you're progressing, you're accomplishing things, and you can switch the team up and play with other people. Where it falls flat is it's not the type of game you can bring into a group that's maybe not as willing, but just like they want to play a game, but they're not all in on The Crew and accomplishing a mission together. And it's an interesting thought. So like an example of a game where you can have like mild commitment from people. Like they want to play a game, but like, you know, they also want to talk. You can play Quacks of Clevelandburg. You can play Tiny Towns. Those are games with fun moments in them and light feelings, essentially. And so no matter the mood of the group, everyone's going to have a good time because they're just solid games with memorable pieces of moments in there. With The Crew, it takes so much concentration that if you don't have the commitment from everyone, it's just going to not be the game that everyone is going to want to play again later. Maybe it'll help if I explain it by showing you how the game works, and then you can see what I'm talking about. So let's get into it. So we got the rule book, which is the rules, and the log book, which shows the scenarios. The game is so simple though. There's 4 main suits, which are just colors with some symbols, and then there's the trump suit, the 5th suit, which is the rockets. And so like any trick-taking game, which if you're not familiar, essentially a trick-taking game is each player has a hand of cards. One person starts by putting a card in the middle, and everyone else has to put one card in as well. They either match the suit, or if they don't have any, they put in a card of a different suit. Whoever has the best takes those pile of cards and starts the next one where they throw in a new suit and start it off. So that's the basics of a trick-taking game. Someone starts a round, everyone follows, and the winner starts the next round. All right, so with the 4 hands placed out here, you can see everyone's got their own suits and things, and the person who starts a round has the 4 rocket. That's the ultimate trump card. Now, the way trick-taking works, I put out a blue 3. The next person has to put a blue. If they put blue with a higher number, they're in the spot to win the trick. Now blue of 8, now blue of 1. Since this player put blue of 8, they win the trick and start the next one. Now in this game, we're playing cooperatively. And the way this works is you check the logbook, and it gives you criteria in which you need to meet a goal. So we'll take scenario 8. The text doesn't really matter. What matters is these goals. So we need 3 gold cards and we need a priority 1, 2, and 3. So let's set that up. I've already shuffled these mini cards, which is an exact match of the large cards minus the rockets, I believe. And what that means is now these will be the 3 goals that people are trying to accomplish. We have priority tokens, 1, 2, 3. And the captain, the person having the 4 rocket, they just announced that they are the first to pick a goal. So I think I can win the pink 7, so I'll take that. Next person, they think they can win the green 4, and this, fortunately this has worked out pretty well. Now the criteria is this person needs to win this green 4 in a trick. And if they don't, if someone else wins it, the scenario is over, everyone loses. There's the additional priority system where this trick needs to be won first, this one needs to be won second, this one needs to be won third. If any scenario rule is broken, you lose and you're out. So already you can see some of the interesting parts of what makes this game fun. And I'm going through some of these rules because these are the things that sparked an interest in the game in myself and made me excited to play about it. So other things like these priorities exist, like win this before the other, win this last, win this first, all those kind of things. The amount of goals you have is interesting, but there's also these little tokens here. They got a green and a red side, and what this allows for you to do, because normally you can't talk to each other, what you can do is, if I really want you to know some piece of information about my hand, I can do so by placing 1 card down. So I'll place the green 4 down, and I could do one of 3 things with my communication token. I could say this is the highest number of this suit. This is the lowest number that I have of this suit, or this is the only card of this suit, and it has to be true. You can't move it afterwards. So I would say this is the lowest number of the suit, so everyone knows and has that information available to help me win this trick. That's interesting as well. And you can see where that can come into play. Now, what's a little disappointing is in all the plays that I did with my group, we never used these tokens. It just didn't feel necessary, and although a very cool gimmick, I think it would come up a lot more if we get into like scenarios 40 to 50. I'm sure that would come up more often. But that's the whole of the game. You're trying to accomplish these things. There's some moments where you put down a card thinking like, this player could just be, I need to win this first, I'm gonna place it down first. But as other players go, they are required, if they have the same suit, to play the card of that same suit. And instantly you see the mistake, you learn from it. Those moments happened 1 or 2 times in the several rounds we played. And it leads to more strategy, more thought behind when I should play things. I should play my other green cards so that they run out of their green cards first. And everyone should have that shared strategy. So you're kind of building the group's strategy by learning through failure. But ultimately, it's not a game after we played that any of us really were like excitedly wanting to come back the next day and play again. It wasn't the type of game that we had that many stories to talk about afterwards. A game like Quacks of Quedlinburg, there's always an explosion and always something that's fun. Or Tiny Towns, when you just make everything work and they pick the right resource and you can fit everything in perfectly. Or in Wingspan, your engine is just on fire for that last round. And there's some of that. There's some moments that were interesting, but ultimately it felt fun, interesting, but just not as captivating as other games that I've played. With cartographers, it just feels like I can always improve and grow, and I want to keep trying. And it's just cathartic to draw things, and we use colored pencils or crayons instead of drawing with the pencils and the symbols. And it's overall a wonderful game. I've enjoyed it a lot. I think I'd prefer this over the Mind. I think it's a toss-up between this and Hanabi. I like Hanabi quite a bit, actually. I think with the right group that's really looking to optimize a groupthink strategy, this could be a great game and a fun way to feel accomplished over the course of a few weeks of game night sessions. But that's just not my group. So those are my thoughts on The Crew. So that's The Crew. It's a nominee. And like I said, if you want to enter to win one of the 3 nominated games, leave a comment below. What game do you think is going to win? You should leave that as a comment. We'll pick one of the comments on the day of Spiel des Jahres, and they will get to win. Whoever it is, hopefully it's you. When you enter a comment, you get to win, and you get your choice. You can pick one of the 3 games. So that's it. I want to know what you think. If polls come out differently, that'll be interesting. But I do think that Cartographers is the one that's going to win this. So that's it. Talk to you later.